but those were my wants and desires. But I mean, God actually showing up and fighting for me in my life, there wasn't an incident where I didn't see that. I can't say I didn't see that happen. And so when this, came to our doorstep, it was one of those situations where it was like, I knew God had brought us together. I knew that you were my husband. I didn't understand why we were going through what we were going through, but it was one of those situations where it was like, I had no choice but to trust God and trust the process, even though I didn't understand it. Even though I didn't see why we had to go through it, even though, it was a lot. It was a stressful time for us. It was a lot. But it was one of those situations where I had never seen God fail me. So why would I not trust that things were gonna work out for our best interest? And so that's kind of where my head was at. I would say that defining moment for me, it would just be little subtle things. It would be little subtle things. Like, there would be times where I was really going through and someone would come up to me, didn't even know me, and might say something that they didn't know that I had been praying to God about or just talking to God about, and then that person would come to me and speak on it, and it's like, where is this coming from?
It's a real thing.
Yeah, like
that's a real thing, because that happened to me, and I done express things like this, and you be like, babe, God got you.
Yeah.
And that always was your answer. Were there moments when you felt completely abandoned or supported by people, like, in this process? Like, did you have the moments, and like, let's speak to that.
Yeah, definitely. In the beginning, I think I felt more alone. I always felt alone through the process, even when I did have support, because nobody can truly understand what you're going through unless they literally are going through that same thing or have been through that exact thing, which they never can, because it's a unique experience with that person in their life. But I always felt alone during the process. But I definitely had moments where, even with the support that I had from individuals, it was like it couldn't fill that void of the hurt that I felt. I had, people who were, close to me that completely just turned their backs on me. And I couldn't understand, and I think for me it was just a lesson of, in general, like, even for myself, like, when somebody's going through something and if you love that person, you don't have to like what the situation may be, but pray for that person and cover them, because you never know what they're going through, what they're feeling, what they're encountering, what they're battling on a daily basis, and all they could need from you was just a simple just prayer and covering, and to just be that. And I had that. I had friends, people who I look at like family and sisters, that really was covering me. But then I also had people that weren't covering me, people who, as they tried to piece puzzles together, or as they heard of the circumstance, some people just didn't understand why, but it wasn't for them to understand. And so it definitely was a thing for me where I did sometimes feel abandoned, like, okay, well, why I'm not getting that support and love that I feel like I should be getting. But I did have support. I did have support, but it's still, like I said, it was a void that no matter what level of support I had, like, it couldn't be filled. No amount of prayer, no amount of FaceTimes and powwows, like, nothing could really take away that void that I was feeling, beyond me just continuing to talk to God. There were times where, honestly, babe, like, I could be in the house like this by myself, just quiet, and I would just talk to God about how I was feeling. And, if I was okay, I was okay. And if I wasn't, like, I'm not okay today. I don't know how, we're going to navigate through this next step, or things are stuck here, I don't get, like, why you haven't fixed it yet. Like, why you still got us going through this? That was, I know we're not supposed to question God, but that was a big thing for me. I used to and it wasn't even more so questioning, like I said, it was just conversations of, why you didn't fix this yet? Like, I'm seeing it, I'm seeing what's going on, like, why we still gotta sit here? Like, what's the meaning of us sitting here? But fast forward to now, and things that God has, brought back. Like, we had some setbacks. We had things that I don't even say they were lost, but things that had to be given. But I feel like that God has, restored those things, and just even being in this kitchen with you and being what we are, it's like, we're in such different, a different space.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What was the moment that felt like when you found out that I was being released?
Ooh, I wish we could get that recording. I know there's probably a way to, but it was like being underwater for 2.5 years, and that that bulge you feel right before you feel like you can't hold your breath no more. You gotta come up for air. Feeling like that for 2.5 years, and then hearing that you were coming home, and it was just like that pressure released, and I just floated to the top. And when I got to the top, it was just like a beautiful pink sky, and and birds chirping, and whales wailing. Like, it was a huge sigh of relief when I heard that you when I heard that you were coming home. But it was also surreal. Honestly, I felt like I was in the twilight.
And when the judge, when the judge tossed the case out, it was like, it was like I could take care of my family again. Like, that was the main thing. Like, I could take care of my family, my wife, my kids, the people that I had close to me. I can give life, because I never felt as though I did anything for my life to be taken.